Hey guys, third fan of the night.
Third fan of the night.
What do we have here, your metalness?
We have what we call a RickBlender.
I wonder if we know anybody named Rick.
Or sheep.
Or sheep. Could be sheep.
Yeah. Rick or sheep blender.
Yeah. That's true. We should include the sheep in these.
Yeah.
And what makes a RickBlender?
Well, he likes the version of the Blenderfan where it's K63 4-blade.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes how the flywheel tapers and goes flat.
Mm-hmm.
He says he's seen that version at the Volo Museum.
Yep.
That's his #1 place that he remembers them.
Very cool.
There's one or two left from what I understand him saying.
Oh, we gotta go there then.
Yes, we do. In fact, you know what else is there? They brought Rockafire Explosion there as like a retro attraction.
Oh, I've heard about that.
They restored it, they refurbished it.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Instead of a curtain opening up, it's garage doors.
Oh. I haven't seen one of those in a long time.
Yeah.
So, well, let's go ahead and
Here we
RickBlender. Is that all the way down?
Yes.
Okay, it's one of those just glow faintly in the background.
Okay.
Since you can see him in the shot now. Set to low, what is it, like 0.75?
7.6, yep.
Mm-hmm. This is a standard issue RickBlender.
Oh,
Still
yeah.
want to find one of the super powerful ones, but one of the early ones, but this is a pretty standard RickBlender.
Yep. I mean, this right here, its low speed is literally hardware store speed.
Yeah.
Because these are also so common with hardware
Absolutely.
stores.
You gonna bother to tack it on low or just wait for high?
I can tack it on low.
Your call. I don't find like it's necessary, but I never mind it.
Yeah, let's just see what these are typically on low.
Everybody should make sure they see the video where we have how many of these in a warehouse? 16 of them or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah.
625.
That's a pretty cool install.
Yeah, it is. 625.
Okay, so that's 156.
Yeah, typical medium speed. That's sounds about right. Okay. All right, time to bring it to high.
Well, see if you can reach that pull chain.
Okay. Nope. I can't reach. That's so high up. This is the worst day of my life.
Buy fan stick.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Fan stick is
The solution to all of my problems. So we're at 145, which is pretty normal for these, and that thing's flying.
Now,
All we need next is the car alarm.
Yeah.
a word from our sponsor.
That thing's moving some pretty good air.
It sure is.
See how much exactly.
We'll see. First, we get the back out here.
Oh, yeah.
Got 918.
230 seems about right.
Yeah, that does. Okay. Yet. $708.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's 10,400. That's the same as the CECs, even though they're bigger.
Yep.
No, that's not surprising though. That's why RickBlenders are
Oh yeah.
quite powerful.
Okay.
You just been down.
Yeah.
Do you want to do power factor? I guess. I mean, we can. We know these typically have a pretty low power factor.
Which is.
That's the watts, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. 3/4 or yeah, 3/4 power factor.
Yep.
Yeah. Electric Company doesn't like low power factor because it costs them money.
Mm-hmm.
They'll survive though. They charge me enough anyways. Yeah, the warehouse install is pretty cool. I like that install. We do need to put some fans in the front part though.
Mm-hmm. Good spin down.
Yeah. Yeah, these seem like they were pretty well babied. They needed a little TLC just like any K63 that's been in use would, but they didn't need much.
Yeah, and where were these?
It looked like a warehouse, but it might not have been a warehouse. It might have been like a shop or some kind, or even a retail space. I couldn't.
Okay.
All I could tell you is it looked like a warehouse type ceiling. You know what I mean?
All right.
I can't even. I don't even remember where these start. Do they start like at 5? I can't remember. It's been a while since we tested one.
Maybe 4.
Okay, where are you gonna go with 4?
Sure.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. I said 4.
And he's right.
It's an atmospheric low.
Jonas.
And of course, I know these at the Waukesha, Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
There's got to be 100 of them there.
Yeah, and they are RickBlenders.
They are, and they use them.
Yes.
Janesville Farm and Fleet too, although those might be the slightly later version.
Okay. And then the other half of the store is Comfort Breezes.
I know.
It's
a very cool install.
It is.
The one when I was a kid the one right by my house,
Yeah.
when I was a kid was Comfort Breezes and RickBlenders, and then when I was still a kid they took out the RickBlenders and replaced them with Summer Breezes, and then now they're starting to replace the Comfort Breezes with Industrials.
Yeah, there's the one on 26 kind of near Watertown.
Yeah.
It's got half of white Comfort Breezes.
Uh-huh.
And then some got replaced with those cheap Westinghouse.
Is that the Ace or the Farm and Fleet?
It's actually, I think it's an Ace.
Yeah, it used to be a Farm and Fleet. There's a Farm and Fleet around there too. I just can't remember what it has.
Oh yeah, I think it had those Summer Breeze or Studio series, just like the one in Oak Creek.
Yep.
Here's 5. I already know what control. 6.
Indeed.
7.
A certain control.
Yes, a certain control. And here comes 8.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Crunch, 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 crunch.
Of course, you got the perfect low.
That is a perfect low.
Yep.
There is a reason why controls have 8s, 12s, and 20s.
Yep. 9. Ten. 11. And here comes 12.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Crunch, 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 crunch,
Well,
crunch, 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 crunch.
That's right. 13. So, yep, perfect medium low on 12. This is 13, 14. And this is also, of course, your hardware store speed. I like to call that.
Yep, pretty close to the factory low.
Yep, 15.
It is interesting that they slightly extended the down rods on these. Like, they didn't extend them very much. Makes me wonder why they went to the trouble of extending them at all. Maybe they had like a beam or something they had to clear.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm very sure. I know that was the case in Alex's warehouse.
Did we have to drop the down rod on some of them?
I think the 3-blade one.
Oh yeah, it had to clear like a sprinkler pipe or something like that.
I mean, any of those things, just like in a church.
Yeah.
When you got a steep peak, if you're going to mount them in the center, you got to clear that. So, 16.
Yep, you're right. The 3-blade one had to clear that sprinkler pipe, and then we put the one over the door on a long down rod too, just to look cool. Mm-hmm. That's a freaking cool install.
Yeah. 17.
A lot of Blenderfans.
Yes, it is. On this week's edition of Will It Blend?
I think it will, actually.
We have a lot of blending going on.
Yeah.
18. 19.
Uh-oh. I have concerns about what can happen after 19. Especially because the fridge is opening. That's never a good sign.
Because we gotta have the Beverage Fan collectors.
Beverage Fan collectors. You gonna sell them again this year?
It didn't sell well. The gag was over.
Oh.
I mean, it sold the first year.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But as a gag, but just didn't. And here comes 20.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Crochet, crochet, crochet. That's crunch in French. Crunch, 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 crunch. Beverage Fan collectors.
Yep. And of course, 25.
Over.
Oh, we are over.
Yep.
See, I went back to 22. Are we still over?
Nope.
Let's find where we go over. That's 23.
Still under.
24.
Still under.
Yeah, we're right there. If I go 25, that's when
When we're over. Yep.
Okay.
So you kind of nailed it on your first guess, really. Well, these are usually pretty damn near silent on the solid state. Let's see if this one holds up.
Yep.
Will it blend? Will it blend?
On solid state. Just as silent as all those CECs.
I would say I'd call that silent.
for the most part, these tend to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're good at
I
blending.
put mine on a solid state in my bedroom, and I was impressed.
Yeah. Okay. Zero to high. Do you remember? Like, these have been all over the place with zero to high, haven't they? Some have been no inrush, some have been
Seems like
small,
it.
some have been big. What do you think this one's gonna do?
I'm gonna say big inrush.
Big inrush. I'll chance it with no inrush.
Okay.
What's interesting is there doesn't really seem to be any clue for which ones do what when it comes to inrush.
Oh no, not at all. Okay.
Solid state's on. I think it is no. Because it doesn't drop after 46, does it? It just stays there? No, it did drop. It's small inrush.
Okay.
Neither one of us got it right.
Nope.
Dang, that thing's powerful.
It is.
Okay, well, any other tests we want to do on this?
Well, let's see what we can do for a low. I know we tend to test the decade on low.
Yeah, I do like to do that sometimes. See if you can reach it.
Nope.
Oh, this is the
Worst day of
my life.
Let's grab it.
What can we possibly do?
And now, a word from our sponsor.
1, 2, 3. Buy fan stick.
Okay.
Fan stick is the solution to all of my problems.
Okay. Well, let's see.
Where it starts on low.
1, 2, 3.
For those who are wondering why I like to test 2-speed fans on low on the decade, there's 2 reasons. One is if you want to make it a 3-speed, you can know what capacitor values to use. The other is that if you put it on a capacitor-based control and then somebody accidentally sets it to low, you'll know where it'll go over, where it'll hit a resonant frequency. Those are the 2 things I like to know. So, for example, the shrouded blender in my garage, I have that receiver set so that it can't go over even if somebody pulls the pull chain.
4. 5. 5. This is 5.
5 seems perfect, honestly. 5 seems like a great low.
Yep.
That's what I would do.
6. What did it draw in low?
Like 7.5.
Okay. 7.
Uh-oh. I do worry about what could happen after 7.
Yes, I do too. 'Cause guess what? Here comes 8.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Crunch, 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 crunch. Okay.
9. 10.
Getting closer.
11.
I wonder if 12's going to go over. If not, it's going to be close.
12.
Yep, 12's over.
Okay.
So, yeah. Okay. Well, how metal are these?
Oh, this is also Cannibal Corpse Death Clock approved.
Have you had one of these in your bedroom before?
Similar, I got this one that's actually got the stepped
Oh, that's right. I remember that
step
one.
flywheel and plastic wood grain blades.
Yeah, those are cool too.
It's K63.
Yep, I know exactly the type. That's Rick figured out those are 1980 only.
Really?
The only year that has the older style motor, the K63 motor, but then the newer style flywheel and blades is 1980. So those were like a 1 year only one.
Oh, wow.
I think one of these might look good in the bedroom of metalness at some point.
Well, yeah, I actually do have one that's been painted white and I want to restore. So
Yeah.
I definitely am working on one. I want to get to it.
Yeah, we got a lot of restoration projects on the horizon. You know what? Actually, this is neither here nor there. You know, I know we got these unions that are around here somewhere, to the gold unions to restore.
Yeah.
And those R52s. But you know what else? There's those Sonitaires in my garage. I keep forgetting I should bring those over here, huh? Mm-hmm. Because they have a really bad house paint job, and we could either make them like bare metal, like polished aluminum, or we could make them brown.
Yes, brown.
So, okay, well, yeah, definitely high Menards, high Rick factor. I don't know anybody that doesn't like a good Blenderfan. And even a lot of the antiques collectors like Blenderfans. Okay, well, let's hear this word from our sponsors.
This video is brought to you by the following sponsors: Fanstick, Lightstick, Taco Burrito Mexico, Sperry, the beverage of fan collectors, The Good Manufacturing Company, 81220 LLC, where our motto is crunch, 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 crunch. RickOrSheep.com, a fun game you can play with your friends. For more information, go to RickOrSheep.com. Power Vacuum, the vacuum with more vacuums. Udong batteries. When I think of batteries, I think of Udong.
Major funding for this series is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the annual financial support of viewers like you.
Well, that's it for this video. Time to wrap it up.
Nope, listen.
How do I always forget about Pedro's? I need to not forget about Pedro's. They're an important... Wait, and there's somebody at the door. Why, look, it's Metal Jonas. You looking for anything, Metal Jonas?
Oh, but I love this Edwards long chime.
Yes, it is a nice doorbell, that's for sure.
Doorbell. And do you have any Emerson catalog?
We have 3.
Or some Homestead catalog?
We have 1. What do you think of House on the Rock, Metal Jonas?
House on the Rock. One word, incredible. One word, overwhelming. One word, amazing. Wow.
Well, we got some more fans to test, so stick around. And what else should they do, your metalness?
Bye.
Fan stick. Thanks for watching.